You're listening to the 49 Carats podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats podcast. I'm your host, Steph. It is Friday, July 26th. Some hours ago now, the 49ers held their third day of training camp practices. And I must say, for the audio listeners, you guys probably didn't see a recap from me from day two. Apologies for that. But I was at training camp yesterday. I was not there today. So let me just do a quick recap of day two before we get into day three. Very, very quick, okay? So Brandon Ayuk still not practicing. He is doing his hold in. Saw him on the sidelines. He was talking to Talanoa Hufanga, watching team periods yesterday. Trent Williams still not there as well. As we know, he's wanting a new contract, and so he's going to stay away from the team while that's still being sorted out. In the meantime, we're seeing a lot of Jalen Moore at left tackle. He's been the main guy starting with Trent Williams not out there. Brock Purdy on day two looked in total command of the offense. There's no doubt at all who the QB1 is, as there should be, or as there shouldn't be, I guess. As far as QB2, Joshua Dobbs still looks a bit shaky to me. It's pretty clear that Brandon Allen is just way more comfortable in that spot right now. But, Dobbs is just getting started. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt and see if he can get more comfortable as training camp goes on. Also from day two, Spencer Burford was the starting right guard in all of practice yesterday. Brendel and Feliciano rotated first team snaps at center. That was pretty interesting. So we don't really know what the 49ers plan is there, what they're trying to really look at. It could, really be a competition there, or, maybe they just want Spencer Burford to get more experience at right guard, see what they have with him there this year. Debo, I must say, he looks the best he's ever looked. He's just so in shape. I know it's very cliche to say that a player looks the best he's ever looked at this time of the year, but we've seen several years of Debo at this point, especially at this time of the year. This is the best he's looked athletically, and so far it is translating onto the field, especially with Brandon Ayuk not there. Deebo Samuel is getting a lot of looks. Danny Gray is getting peppered with targets, at least in day two. That's what I saw from Danny Gray, and it just sounds like he's getting a lot of action in these practices as well. He seems to be benefiting from Brandon Ayuk not being there, as well as Ricky Pearsall, who's dealing with a hamstring injury. Also from yesterday, Ji'ayir Brown continues to get rave reviews, and we got some stuff to talk about from day three from Ji'ayir Brown, so we'll talk about that in a second. But it seems like Brown is making a second year leap, and I mean, honestly, his first year was already pretty impressive, so that's really exciting for the second year player. Malik Mustafa, the rookie safety, he's been impressive so far, even in coverage, which I think that's probably the best part, because it shows that he's capable of being an all-around safety and not just one that can play closer to the line in the box. So Mustafa showing some range a little bit in these practices so far. That's exciting. Jordan Mason on day two looked good. He's getting compliments from a lot of guys. I believe Christian McCaffrey has mentioned it, Kyle Shanahan. And so that's a good sign for Jordan Mason that maybe he's doing something right this year that he maybe wasn't even doing in the past. I know he's a fan favorite, but he might actually, be making his way to more opportunities this year. So that's also exciting for the Jordan Mason Hive. He's been looking good. All right, that was my quick recap on day two. Now, day three was today, July 26th, Friday practice. Like I said, I wasn't able to make that practice, but I will be giving you a recap of all the reports that I saw from, the good people who were there. And so let's start with that right now. It seems like this Friday practice, the day before a couple of days off for this team, they have Saturday and Sunday off, was more of a rest day for a lot of veterans. So there was no Christian McCaffrey, no George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Charvarius Ward, Malik Collins, Jake Brendel, Feliciano, and Burford. Although I did see Matt Barrows say that apparently Burford was out due to an undisclosed injury. So that's interesting. That's something to keep an eye on going forward. But that's a lot of offensive linemen who weren't present in today's practice. And add on to the fact that Trent Williams also hasn't been there. Ooh, it made things a little interesting for the starting offensive line, I would have to imagine. But look at it this way. I feel like a lot of guys gonna get some extra opportunities to get some looks here. Nick Zakelj, for example, got the start at center during team periods. And according to Matt Barrows, he wasn't just the first team center, he also played second team center. So that's good for him, getting a lot of snaps. And it just helps the 49ers, helps him get more experience and, like I said, helps the 49ers get a better idea what they have in him. So that's good for Zakel. Dominic Pooney, the rookie, got the start at right guard since Spencer Burford was out. So that's a good opportunity for the rookie to get more experience. And one thing I wanted to mention, so Chris Forster did speak with the media earlier today. He actually spoke with the media before practice began, and I loved the interview. Like, if you guys haven't checked that out, or if you didn't see the transcript, check it out. It was a great presser. He was very transparent on a number of different things. But since we're on the topic of Dominic Pooney, let me just show you what he had to say about him. So let me clear this up here. All right. So here's what he said about Dominic Pooney. Quote, he's a strong, big body. He'll set the pocket real well. He plays with great anchor. He's extremely intelligent. He's really a good player. He's a special guy, and he's just not done the position for very long. And with our system, it's a little bit of a change for him. So there's going to be a learning curve, but he's got some real stuff to him. End quote. So yeah, I mean, this is some good things on Pooney that Chris Forrester mentioned, and of course, this is before we knew that he was going to be getting all the right guard snaps today. So it's good that he was able to get that opportunity. And I think the fact that there is a learning curve for him, which is something Forrester has mentioned before, I think him getting these reps and these opportunities is important to kind of like getting ahead of the curve a little bit. So it's good that this early in camp he's getting those looks. So good for him. Now let me move on. Actually, let me tap in with the live chat. You guys are awesome, keeping it popping real quick. What's up, Jimmy? What's up, Invader 49er? Technic Chic says, love that Tayshaun Jr. is out there on the field too. Yes, little Debo Tayshaun Jr. Was on the field. I believe that clip was from yesterday, but he's super cute. I'm actually a little upset that I didn't see him. Technic Chic says, how have heard Pooney did today, Steph? Well, I guess like how Pooney did, I didn't see too much on the specifics. The only thing I saw was that the offensive line as a whole kind of struggled today, but like just given the fact that there were so many starters out, and really the only defensive lineman, or I guess the two defensive linemen that weren't there, was Nick Bosa and Malik Collins. It's still a really good defensive line even without those two. So I think seemed like the offensive line did struggle today, but again, I think the reps are important for Pooney, and it's good for him. What's going on, Tanya? What's going on, Rob D? Yes, Forrester was honest and raw, and I wanted to mention another part that he spoke on the Super Bowl in his interview as well, and I'll get to that in a bit. But just want to finish recapping what I saw from day 3 once more. So where are we? We just finished talking about the offensive line. So yeah, like it just seemed like a sloppy day for the offense. And, maybe, like I said, a large part of it had to do with the overwhelming disparity between the offensive line and defensive line, even with Nick Bosa and Malik Collins out. And think about it. When you look at some of the guys who weren't on the field for the offense, Christian McCaffrey, Kittle, those are energy guys. Like for one, Christian McCaffrey is like the lead example of work ethic and what everyone should be doing on the field, even in training camp practices. He's always going 110%. George Kittle is just this ball of energy that's pumping everyone else up. Again, we still don't have Trent Williams on the field either. We still don't have Brandon Ayuk on the field. So largely it's Debo, it's Brock Purdy, who's, all business, and then Juice was out there as well. So I don't know. I feel like maybe that's also part of the reason they were missing some energy today. And so yeah, it just seemed like there was a lack of energy between yesterday's practice, day two, versus today. And also, it's Friday and they have Saturday and Sunday off, so it's their weekend as well. So maybe they're kind of feeling that a little bit, and they're just kind of excited. I'm not saying it's great, but I'm just trying to, I guess, find some reasons why the energy was not as high today. Um, Going back to the defensive line, it did sound like Leonard Floyd had a pretty good day, and Matt Barrow said he was constantly in the backfield, putting pressure on Brock Purdy. And so Purdy had a bit of a shaky day today as well. Like I said, it was sloppy for the offense. He finished 4 of 8 in 11 on 11s today. And in fact, his first throw ended up getting intercepted by Ji'ayir Brown. And I want to say the 49ers actually posted that video on their socials. So let me go ahead and find it so I can show you. Because, yeah, I mean, Ji'ayir Brown, I think, is making I think he's showing some improvements from year one, and like I said, like year one was already impressive. So here's the clip for the YouTube viewers here. This ball stealing. it, it was way overthrown. Like he was targeting Debo there, and Jair Brown just over the top to snag it. Can't be mad at that from Brown at all. Yeah. And I pointed this out yesterday, and I mentioned this on the show with Mariah as well, that Jair Brown yesterday in practice was hanging out with the corners. He was hanging out with Lenore and Mooney Ward like all practice yesterday whenever they weren't in like positional drills. So that definitely stuck out to me, because Jair Brown to me is already moving like a veteran out there, and he's latching on to some veteran guys. So I think that's cool to see because I think he's going to be in lockstep with Mooney Ward and Lenore much of this season as well. And so it's good to have that relationship even off the field. All right, let's see what's next here. So yeah, we talked about the interception from Purdy going to Jair Brown. I guess Fred Warner also forced a fumble today, knocked a ball loose from Elijah Mitchell that Isaac Yadam then scooped up and took for a score. So again, like the defense dominated today. So props to them. This is a good sign, right? I mean, Nick Sorensen, new defensive coordinator. You have Brandon Staley in the mix as well. And the defense is looking good. It seems like they haven't missed a step. If anything, maybe they're looking to be a little bit better than they were last year, right? I mean, I think that's the hope for all of us. Speaking of Brandon Staley, I did get a clip from Rohan posted this clip of Brandon Staley working one-on-one with Lenore. And this, you saw a bit of this in day two's practice yesterday as well. Just a lot of hands-on, one-on-one coaching. Brandon Staley and Lenore. And yesterday, Mooney Ward was there too, so he was in on it. But today, Mooney Ward wasn't there. So, you see Brandon Staley coaching up Lenore. And, Kyle Posey of Niners Nation mentioned this of the clip. Looks like he's teaching Demo how to be more efficient at the line of scrimmage. teaching him how to simultaneously punch while using that force to push off with his outside leg and get vision to the quarterback all in one motion. Eliminating the step slash wasted motion equals the difference between a PBU and an interception. So yeah, it's good to see those coaching moments between Brandon Staley and the corners. And Brandon Staley has been mostly focused on the secondary, but in particular the corners from what I've seen so far. So it's good to see that hands-on approach from him. And like I said, the defense so far is looking pretty good in practice. So this is good stuff right here. This is good stuff. So a couple other things. Ricky Pearsall, I saw him yesterday sprinting on the side of the field. Today, however, he was working in some route running into his rehab, it looks like. So I got a clip of that as well. This one was from KNBR that they posted. So you see him, doing some cuts, some breaks, and just doing some route running simulation there. So this is good to see. I mean, it's not super full speed stuff, but to me, he looks like he's on track to rejoin the team in the second block of training camp, which would hopefully be Monday or sometime thereafter. And Monday is the first day of pads for the team, so that's when stuff really gets real. And I'm excited for that. So yeah, I'm sure this team would love to see Ricky Pearsall out there. I'm excited to see Ricky Pearsall because we heard so much about him in OTAs and all that. So, want to see what the hype is all about. So, hopefully the team sees him back on the field soon. Deebo Samuel got some work on return duties today, among a few others. I'm assuming the others were the usual suspects, and I mentioned this yesterday it was Trent Williams, not Trent Williams. Yesterday was, imagine that, Trent Williams returning kicks. No, it was Trent Taylor. It was Ronnie Bell and Jacob Cowan yesterday were the three on return duty. But yes, it looks like Deebo Samuel got mixed in today as well. And he spoke with the media after practice, and it sounds like he's very open to the idea of helping the team out on return duties. And he talked a little bit about, the new rules and how it's really just, one cut and go kind of thing. And there's no way that a 9 times out of 10, the kicker's not making that tackle. And I completely agree with Deebo. I think the team is going to involve him in these kickoffs, and I love it. I mean, I hope they do. My bold prediction for the season, if I had to pull one out there, is that I think Deebo gets a return touchdown this season with the new kickoff rules. How you guys like that? What do you think? Yeah. I think we'd all love to see that. But all right. Let me show a clip from Brad, the SF Niners, who was at practice today. He showed the team practicing the kickoff, the new kickoff format today. That's not something we had seen in the previous practices, by the way. I did not see that yesterday. I was keeping an eye out for it, but no, I didn't see that. So in this video, shout out the YouTube viewers here. Sorry, audio viewers or listeners. But you can kind of see them go through this drill. I mean, as far as formation goes or just stance, looks the same as any other kickoff. Hands on the thighs and in the stance, and then so this doesn't look too exciting to be honest with you. I don't think this reveals much, but it's right before our eyes and something new that we get to see this year with the team. All right, before I move on to the Chris Forrester video that I wanted to show him talking about the Spencer Burford key mistake in the Super Bowl, let me get to a couple of these comments. Shout out Mariah, 2 goats. Yeah, 2 goats. Make sure you guys subscribe to her channel as well, Faithfully in Vegas. Technic Chic asks, have you been able to get more tickets, Steph? So funny, yeah, I have something lined up for Monday. All right. I think I'll be able to make Monday's practice, which I'm excited about because like I said, it's the first day of pads. I would love to be there. It's like energy on 1000 for the first day of pads. I was actually like I did have an opportunity to get tickets today, and you guys are gonna be like, Steph, like, what the hell are you doing? Why didn't you go? Um, but I had a haircut scheduled for today that I couldn't miss because one, my hair was looking kind of crazy, and two, it's been a whole ordeal. Like I was supposed to get my hair cut on Wednesday, didn't happen because I planned my morning out horribly, so I had to cancel that one. I got charged like a cancellation fee. It was a $60 cancellation fee because that's how much the haircut costs, and so I had to pay that. All right, I ate the cost because I was like, it's completely my fault. Then I scheduled in a haircut out here in the Bay Area, so that I scheduled yesterday. Yesterday was the first day of training camp, but I scheduled it like in the evening. But it was just a chaotic day for me because I'm still working my 9 to 5 as well while doing all of this. So I was just like, I can't do it today. So I canceled that one as well, and that was a $30 cancellation fee. So then I scheduled the one today because I wasn't planning on going to practice today. And then, kind of like last minute this morning, I did see some tickets kind of get offered to me, but I was like, I can't take another cancellation fee. I can't do it. So I technically could have gone, but I did not. But the haircut looks good, right? The struggle, the struggle. Um, Adrian asks, when's the last time we had a kick return for a touchdown? Must be years. Um, wasn't it? It was Richie James, I think. Um, Using the power of Google, I'm pretty sure it was Richie James though, and that was several years. Yeah, December 2018. Richie James, the last kick return touchdown. Yup, it's been a really long time, and I think they're due for one, and I feel like if it's going to benefit anyone, I think it's going to benefit the 49ers among a few other teams that have really strong skill position groups. I think it's going to benefit the 49ers this rule change cuz they got a lot of guys who are good in space and guys who are good at yak. It translates well to this rule change. And then guys who are fast. Like, who knows? Maybe Danny Gray does get a chance to stick on this roster just because, although we haven't seen Danny Gray for returns yet. So let me not get too ahead of myself. But Jacob Cowing, for example, could show that speed. And that could, bring value for him. So, never know. Thank you. Yes, the haircut. See, it was worth it. The haircut was worth it, I think. And when I heard actually that today's practice it was missing so many of the starters, I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, I don't feel too bad. And I think it was like a shorter day of practice today as well. So I was like, okay, I don't feel like I missed anything. I definitely wasn't upset about not being there. But yeah, I got tickets lined up for Monday. So I'll be out there. And so that'll be my next update for you guys on Monday. But make sure that you guys like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. By the way, for those of you on YouTube who have been checking out the 49K 49ers fan cave tours, make sure you guys check that out. I just uploaded one late last night. Um, Joe took us around his fan cave in his home, and it was awesome as far as like memorabilia goes and like one of a kind memorabilia. He had some really great stuff, a lot of great stories, a lot of sentimental items, So make sure you guys check that out if you guys have been into those. Really appreciate it. subscribe to the channel, like this video. Audio listeners, leave a rating, leave a review. I'll catch you guys on Monday. But for now, have a great weekend, everyone. Peace.